All right, welcome everyone. I was looking to have a good night. I popped open the apple juice and was just settling down, doing some kind of DeFi research, and all of a sudden, I'm on my YouTube and I see George R. Us, the great George R. Us, another crypto YouTuber, saying something to the extent of Elon Musk addressing the FUD or tweets again, or something like that. He said, "Yeah, guess who just caused Bitcoin to dip?" And as soon as I read that, I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta take a look at Bitcoin." And to be honest, what we're seeing is a bit concerning. So, folks, for those of you guys just hearing this for the first time, Elon Musk has attacked again. He has tweeted about Bitcoin, tweeting hashtag Bitcoin heartbreak with this meme we're seeing right now. So, guys, Elon Musk has been really trying to FUD Bitcoin, and according to George, the price of Doge is actually falling. So let's see if we can actually look this up. So, folks, in this live stream, I kind of want to talk about what it would take for me to start to get worried. Is this tweet a big nothing burger, or is it actually something to be worried about? And so I want to share with you guys what it would take for me to get worried based off what I'm seeing on the charts. So yeah, he's right. We're seeing while Elon is tweeting, Doge is dumping. So hopefully this keeps happening so he can stop tweeting about it, because Elon Musk is completely manipulating the market. We had a bullish breakout, and if we can kind of expand the picture a bit here. So Bitcoin, we were forming this wedge pattern. Everyone and their mother was talking about this thing, and we broke out bullishly. Not only did we break out bullishly, but we went back down to retest the breakout point and held it as support. And if we go to the 6 hour here, even the latest 6 hour candle was looking very bullish. Look at that strong candle to the upside, fully closing above all the previous ones. Long look at the downside. Bitcoin was looking ready to test 41, 42K. And then all of a sudden, Elon got bored and he decided to tweet about about Bitcoin again. And guys, if you go to this tweet, if you want to give my tweet a thumbs up here, I'd really appreciate it. I know a lot of people are addressing the Bitcoin tweet. I think mine's pretty clever, to be honest with you. I know Altcoin Daily is trying to be all productive over here, but give my tweet a like, 100%. Look, Elon's even replying here. So, guys, look, this is pretty ridiculous. It's like, folks, this is how we live in like unregulated markets where a single tweet from a billionaire, you can chart it directly on a chart. You can see exactly when Elon was tweeting. So, guys, I kind of want to share my thoughts on what it would take for me to start getting worried about Bitcoin, because this is concerning. Because Elon literally tweets at the worst possible times. We had a bullish breakout. We were sitting on support. We were looking ready to pump, getting some strong candles, and all of a sudden, Elon tweets right at the worst time, right as we were breaking out bullishly, now falling back into our wedge. Now, if we cannot get back above this red trend line, then this could have been a fake out. And if this is indeed a fake out, we could definitely break down a lot further. But I want to talk about what it would actually take for me to start getting worried here on based off the charts. But before we delve into that, let's see, how are you guys feeling? How are you guys holding up? Does anyone else busting out the apple juice? What is Elon even trying to achieve? I think he's bored. Attention. Who knows? Yeah. Hold on. Give me a second here. Andrew Shin says, take him off Twitter. 5 Stone says, dump Doge. Elon is trying to corner the Doge market. Everyone needs to dump Doge. Look, not financial advice. I've always not liked Doge. It's always been a rather silly investment. Can you take a look at ADA? Yeah, guys, I'll take a look at all the major alts. I was planning to talk about Cardano, Vchain, maybe some Polygon, some Ethereum. We're seeing some bullish divergence, but I haven't even looked at the Cardano, Vchain, and ETH charts since the tweet. I don't really want to look, but we'll take a look here in a second. So Anderson says he is sitting by the fireplace, drinking his bourbon by himself. I don't know. Are you talking about me or are you talking about Elon? Because I'm drinking apple juice. I have no idea what you're talking about. So guys, all right, you know what? Without further ado, let me just talk about what it would take for me to actually start to get worried with Bitcoin. So if we kind of zoom in here in the short term, and let me take away this hash ribbon indicator for a second. What it would take for me to start getting worried about Bitcoin are a few things. Number one, not getting back above this trend line. This trend line based off this wick to this wick, we know it's valid because we broke up bullishly, we went back down to retest it, and we found support exactly on the trend line I drew. So the market's telling us that that trend line was indeed valid. And so number one, we need to get above this trend line. Maybe I'll widen it, thicken it a bit so you can maybe see it better, to be bullish once again. And then number 2 and 3, things that I'm looking out for. So if we can't get above this red line, if we go back up, find rejection, that's worrisome. And then number 2 and 3 reasons I'm looking out for are these green slanted trend lines. We can see here, based off these cluster of wicks and these ones, is a clear trend line. So if we hold that as support, that's a good sign. Same with this one, based off this wick and this one, hold that as support, that's a good sign. So what may happen now is we kind of pump back up, maybe retest our red trend line, find rejection, and come back down to either one of these green trend lines. As long as we can hold either one of these green trend lines as support, then we have a good chance of coming back up and maybe breaking out once again. Let's say we don't hold these 2 green trend lines. In that case, I will start to get worried about Bitcoin, because if we cannot hold these 2 green trend lines, then that means that this bullish breakout could have been a bull trap and could have been a fake out. So at this point, I'm neutral. We need further confirmation to kind of be more confident of this trend. We need to wait to see if Bitcoin can get right back above this thing, or if we start to break below support right now. And if we start to break below certain levels here around, if we start to break below a few of these levels, I'm gonna start to get real concerned about Bitcoin's short-term future. So I drew kind of a zone here based on some volume and some price reactive levels from about, I'd say, $36,000 to basically $38,000. I hate drawing super wide zones, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty. This is what I'm looking at. This zone needs to hold as support, because as long as we hold this zone as support, it's theoretically possible that we could fall back down, hold support, retest the breakout point, come back down, and break up bullishly once again. So there's kind of 3 last stands for Bitcoin. These 2 trend lines and 36 to 38K. If we start to break below those 3 support levels, then in that case, it makes it more likely that we continue to trend down bearishly. And if we, it's theoretically possible that as well that we could correct further. And as long as we keep putting in a higher low, then that's nothing to be worried about. But breaking below these 2 green trend lines would flip the short-term bullish trend into a bearish trend, in my opinion, if we break down below these 2 green trend lines. So there is some support. Looking at the hourly here, we are continuing to correct. We are continuing to sell off. Bitcoin, Elon Musk is clearly spooking the market here. The question is, will we find our support on these green trend lines? If we do, in that case, that's a good sign. Ultimately, the real nail in the coffin that I'm looking out for to understand whether we're bullish or bearish. And guys, look, if you're feeling fearful or panicked, please do not trade or invest based off your emotions. Go take a walk. Don't look at the screen. Make calculated decisions. If you find yourself panicking or trying to trade right now based off emotions, it is not a good idea. It is never a good idea to invest, trade, sell, or buy when you're feeling emotional. So take a walk, shut off the screen, come back tomorrow. Crypto's here to stay. This isn't the first time it's happened, but I'm letting you guys know what it will take for me to start being worried, because right now I'm feeling somewhat neutral. We do have some support below us, but I want to let you guys know what it would take for me to start leaning more bearish. And what's happening right now is quite concerning. If we make a new macro lower low, that's very concerning. If we break below kind of 34,000, very concerning. Break below this green trend line, very concerning. So we could find rejection all the live long day, and that's fine. But a new lower low below 33,300, very worrisome. Ultimately, though, the last stand for Bitcoin is a new lower low below 30,000. Because if we make a new lower low below 30,000, in that case, I would feel confident enough to call us more likely than not entering a bear market, because Bitcoin is forming a very macro head and shoulders pattern, and a new lower low below $30,000 would serve as bearish confirmation and a bearish breakout from our head and shoulders, and the target price for this is literally bottomless. The downside potential from a breakdown from 30,000 is literally bottomless. So a breakdown from 30,000, at that point there would be enough reasons leaning bearish that I would start to lean more bearish than bullish with Bitcoin. But as long as we hold above this thing, there's still some hope. It's not all over. I'm seeing someone saying it's all over, pack it up, boys. Not just yet. No. We need further confirmation. If we start getting more and more bearish confirmation, then we can be more and more confident of the bear trend. But right now we need more confirmation. It's looking bad. It's not looking good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is not good to see. But it's not over yet. There's still several layers of support. It's still very well possible that we could put in a higher low. That we could, let's say we fall down all of these, it's possible that we could find support here, As long as we put in a higher low, then we have the chance of coming back up again. But if we start making a new lower low, that's when I'll start to get worried. And I'll let you guys know that if we do start making new lower lows, if we do start to break below, 3,300, 33,000, kind of 400, I will start to move into stablecoins on some percentage of my portfolio. And especially if we move over, if we dip below 30,000 again, in that case, I'm going to be probably moving, substantial portions of my portfolio into stablecoins if we break down from 30,000, and I'll start to move into stablecoins if we break down from kind of 33,000. But that has not happened yet. We're currently sitting right up against support. So I want to share with you guys what it would take for me to start getting bearish, the major short-term support and resistance levels. So guys, if you're feeling panicked, if you're feeling fearful, it has never been a good idea for anyone to trade or invest, sell or buy when you're feeling emotional. If you're experiencing FOMO, or if you're experiencing fear, uncertainty, and doubt, take a walk, have a beer, drink some apple juice, shut off the screen. Crypto will be here tomorrow. It's never a good idea to make emotional investment and trading decisions. With that being said, I kind of want to describe to you guys the several layers of support. This green zone, these two trend lines, this green support line, our fib level, and kind of these higher lows are all significant factors that we need to look out for to understand direction more confidently. And so Jason over here says, it looks bearish, dude. Your whole channel knows it. Yes, no, indeed, 100%. Guys, there's no... yes, the trend looks bearish. That's obvious. Anyone could look at this and be like, oh, it's going down, it's bearish. Yeah, that's obvious. But we're trying to understand what could happen next. And if we want to know what could happen next, whether we can see bullish divergence, because the macro trend, if we go over to the daily, is starting to shift from bearish to bullish. We're extremely oversold, seeing bullish divergence on our macro indicators. And given that we're extremely overextended on the downside, I lean towards it being very sensible for us to have a relief rally here in the near future. But that's the macro trend. Here in the short term does look bearish. But guys, there's if we want to really understand further what could happen, we need to follow these different support levels. And the more support / resistance levels we break through, the more confident we could be of that short-term direction, that short-term trend. And thankfully for the moment, we're currently holding support on this green trend line. Isn't it funny how we stopped dumping exactly on this trend line? It's almost like these trend lines are relevant, because they are relevant. So if we can continue to hold support here, good sign. If we start to break below these green trend lines, I'll start to get worried. Start to break below this green support zone, I'll get more worried. If we break below this green trend line, get more worried. Break below this fib level, get more worried. Make a new lower low below here, get more worried. And if we drop below 30K, I'm pretty much out of the market and maybe heavily into stable coins at that point. But we're still not there. We still need more confirmation, and we are currently holding support on our trend line. So we really just need to see how things play out further. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's pretty late. It's pretty unfortunate that this happened at this time. Why couldn't this happen in the morning? Probably gonna be up a while, following the market and getting things situated. But let's see what you guys are saying here. So, the Crypto Badger with the $5 super chat. Thank you for the support. Says, well, that was a fun fake pump. LO having a Bud Light right now. Yeah, man. No, I'm. Yeah, no, it's definitely time for that. Now, guys, look. Yeah, this is currently looking like a fake out, and it's not good. And even the volume was looking bad. We no volume in this pump. Very, very worrisome. And so, if this was indeed a bull trap, that's bad. That's not good. Guys, I'm never gonna lie to you guys. I'll tell you if I'm leaning more bullish. I'll tell you if I start to be bearish, and I'll tell you guys what it would take for me to be bullish or bearish. You know, breaking down below key support levels, the more support levels we break down, the more bearish I'll get. The more bullish divergence we see, the more bullish I'll get. So I'll always, tell you guys my honest opinions here. Yeah, was it a fake out? Yeah, it could be. Could be. Now, what would be really nice to see is this immediately get bought up and us pump again. But we'll see if that happens. Let's not hold our breath. So that's Bitcoin, and so I kind of wanted to delve into some of the macro stuff here. So also, guys, just to get a sense of why it's not all doom and gloom, is the fact that the daily MACD for Bitcoin, if we zoom out, it's literally never been this oversold on the Coinbase chart. Never been this oversold. So Bitcoin is the most oversold it's been on a high macro time frame, going from extremely oversold to now having a bullish crossover, and the momentum shifting from extremely oversold and extremely bearish to now bullish. Same with the RSI. RSI, I started to get worried about Bitcoin once I started to see this classic bearish divergence, where whenever we see higher highs in price action paired with lower highs in RSI, that's classic bearish divergence. And so, guys, what are we seeing in the market here? We went from very overbought to now very oversold. This was a reset. So we went from overbought to oversold, okay, and that's normal. And now we're seeing bullish divergence on multiple other indicators. And as well, we're extremely overextended to the downside, and I think a further relief rally makes sense. Like, guys, I know Elon Musk is manipulating the market right now, but even if it weren't, even if we do assume we're entering a bear market, looking back at 2017, the beginning of the bear market, we didn't just go down in a straight line forever, folks. We had massive move downwards, and then relief rally. Massive move downward, relief rally, dead cat bounce. A lot of people I see saying dead cat bounce. 100%. Yeah, dead cat bounce. So for those who don't know, dead cat bounce is something like this, where let's go back to the full chart here, where we have a leg down, relief rally, followed by second leg down. That's a dead cat bounce. And sure, we may very well experience another dead cat bounce, but it makes sense to have more of a relief rally. Like we only just started to break out bullishly, and we still have not gotten our relief rally after a substantial breakdown. So, guys, to even make things more simpler, okay, we are forming our macro head and shoulders. And if we do break down from 30K, at that point, I'm pretty much out of the market, moving to stable coins, because at that point, the likelihood of us entering a bear market vastly increases. But, it still hasn't happened yet. And I'm definitely not going anywhere because, guys, while you can make money in a bull market, the bear market is where the most money is made. So if we do enter a bear market, I definitely want to have some stable coins to be able to buy the dip. And guys, stick around with the channel because we're going to let you guys know what we're buying the dip on. In fact, I had prepared for you guys a bunch of stuff I was looking to potentially buy the dip on, some interesting opportunities that maybe we can delve into later in the live stream because I still think they look interesting. Another thing to be aware of here is we're kind of below this VPVR point of control at 30,000. We need to get above 30,000 and start looking bullish again. So that is Bitcoin. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Buy the dip. Also, guys, again, historically, the more fearful the market is, the better a time it was to buy, at least historically speaking. The times in which the market was the most fearful were historically, again, best times to be buying. So that's that. What are you guys saying here? Do you short? I do short. I do trade. There's no buying volume. Yeah, the market's spooked. 100%. Yeah, the volume looks terrible. Yeah, this looks weak, guys. This looks weak. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is no bueno, but still we need further confirmation because we're still sitting on our trend line as support. So until we get more bearish confirmation, I'm still leaning somewhat neutral, although this is quite bad. And as long as we remain below 38K, as long as we remain below this red trend line, Bitcoin looks weak. So Young Mustacod says, hey bro, what up everyone? Theta is Godzilla. I do indeed like Theta. Joe G says he's playing games. Bitcoin was going to drop anyways. Always 3 drops. Had 2 already. This was the last. Hope so, man. What about the CME gaps? 100% CME gaps are definitely a thing. The weekend is coming up, and the market usually drops during that time. Bad news bears. 100% bad news bears. Weekends, Sunday specifically, are usually bad for Bitcoin and crypto. So, oof. If we, guys, my hope is, best case scenario, if we break down more bearishly. Let's say we do break down bearishly. Best case scenario is we put in a higher low from here, higher low, around Sunday, Monday comes, and we pump up again. That's kind of like the best case scenario if we see more bearish breakdown. Best case scenario right now is we continue to find support on our green trend line, and we in the very near future get bought up and get back above this red trend line. Because if this gets bought up quick, and if we can get back above 38K, back above this red trend line, then that's a very good sign. Specifically, get back above probably, I'd say, 30,800, 700. Just get above the sideways price action. Get above a bit more volume. Then that would be a good sign to see here. So, guys, why don't we start taking a look at some of the major alts, see how they're reacting. You guys are gonna see my reactions here in real time because I haven't even been looking. Okay, yeah, look. Ooh, Ethereum, guys. Ethereum was looking good. I was ready to start saying Ethereum to the moon, Ethereum bullish breakout, and right as we were breaking out, right at the worst time, Elon tweets at literally the worst times. As soon as we're breaking out from macro patterns, he tweets and tries to FUD Bitcoin. And look what we're seeing, guys. We broke out from our wedge here, and now we're back down. Although, it's not all doom and gloom because we're holding 2 of the most relevant EMAs for Ethereum here. And I see someone saying $500 Ethereum coming. Look, it may very well, but if we want to know if that's going to happen or not, what we need is further confirmation. We can't be confident at this point, although it's obviously understandable to be concerned about the market because things do look bearish. This isn't good to see. So, guys, look, we're holding the 200 daily, no, not daily, sorry, the 200, I believe it's the 10, yeah, it is the 10, 200 EMA on the 10 hour, and I'll show you why this level is relevant. Pump dump, found support there. Pump dump, found support there. Market's telling us this 200 EMA on the 10 hour, this white line, is a relevant level. Currently below us, acting as support as well. This light yellow line, that's 21 EMA on the 6 hour. 21 EMA on the 6 hour is great for calling short-term price action with Ethereum. Throughout our impulse, held as support. Throughout our retracement, held as resistance. This is a very, very relevant level. We are currently testing it and holding it as support. So, guys, this is why I tell you guys what I think are the most relevant EMAs, because we're reacting exactly off this EMA, which is great for understanding the short-term direction of Ethereum. So, if we start to break down from this EMA, which is great for calling the short-term direction of Ethereum, then Ethereum could start to lean more bearish, especially if we start to break down below these 2 EMAs. So, if Ethereum breaks down from those 2 EMAs, breaks down from kind of 2,550, that's real bad for Ethereum, because we would break down from major support and we would have had a bullish breakout and a bull trap and a fake out, bullish fake out, and the downside for that is 2,200 and then a lot lower. So we don't want to see that happen. Ethereum is quite concerning. So yeah, so there's several targets here: 2,400, then about 2,200, then 2K, then 1,800. Those are the levels I'm looking out for if we start to break down from these EMAs and this green trend line, and specifically 2,550. So 2,550 is kind of one inflection point for Ethereum, because there's kind of several layers of support and resistance. Young Musty Cod says, bro, I'm not scared. I just want someone else's opinion on when to start buying and when BTC starts recovering. Well, look, man, I can't tell you what to do. because I don't know if you're a trader, I don't know if you're an investor, long-term holder, I don't know your risk tolerances, I don't know how your time horizons, and so this is why people can't give individual investment advice, because everyone has different circumstances, different times they're willing to hold, different risk tolerances, and everyone's different, basically. Everyone's a unique snowflake. So what I can do is tell you what I'm looking out for. And so what I'm looking out for, start feeling much, much more confident about the market, is a flippening of these two major support / resistance levels for Bitcoin. This blue line, the 200 exponential moving average on the daily, and this yellow line, the 200 simple moving average on the daily. Several times price reacted off it. Here support, here resistance, here resistance. So market's telling us these are very relevant, very macro levels. So for me to breathe a sigh of relief, for me to be confident about the state of the market, what we need to do is break out bullishly, fall back down and retest these levels, hold it as support, because if we can do that, then we can pump to 50K. And if we can pump to 50K, and if we can kind of zoom out for a bit here, and if we can break above this red trend line based off all-time highs in the previous lower high, so if we can break out, do something like this, fall back down and retest it, then we can make new all-time highs. So guys, what we need at this point is confirmation to understand direction more clearly, because things are very much up in the air. Fundamentals never look better. Technicals look dog shit. Everything looks bad in the short term. This looks very no bueno. This looks like a fake out. Again, currently we're holding support. We need to see how things play out. But if it were me, if you were asking, if a friend came up to me and asked me, hey man, when would you start to feel more confident about buying in this market? I would tell them once Bitcoin can hold above 42K, get one or two daily candles closing above 42K, that is when I would start to lean more bullish. So Young Musty says, and bro, I just want to know your opinion on when BTC recovers. Just opinion, not advice. Yeah, no, I just have to frame things that way, just for the public. I'm not just talking to you, talking to all the broskies. Folks, there's 342-ish people watching. Smash that like button. Let's all cry together, because Elon tweeting is a bad day for us. God, this guy, get a hobby, man. Like, come on, you're rich. Go do something else. Go build a rocket ship. Like, someone just needs to, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to get myself in trouble. All right, guys. So, look, here's the thing. Bitcoin, we're currently holding above this thing. I want to see how long I can live stream for, because I want to see how we play off this trend line. And see, guys, look, that's exactly where we're finding our support. And we can even be a bit more specific here and draw on a zone such as this. Something like this. Even further reactive, we can see how here, based off these wicks, resistance, here, resistance. And as soon as we broke out bullish, we fell back down and retested it, held it as support. So this area here, kind of 37,320, was acting as resistance all throughout here. Broke out bullishly, fell down, held it as support. And that's around where we're finding our support right now. So I think kind of even more specifically, if we want to get ultra specific up in here, get as specific as possible. Let's get specific. I'll tell you guys exactly, specifically, what I'm looking out for here. So we've clearly identified price reactive zone that was relevant during our correction. So if we start to break down basically below, I'd say around 37,100, then that's a bit more sign to be worried. But we're above it. So that's that. I just canceled my order for Tesla truck. Had enough. Yeah, man, I would have bought a Tesla truck, but at this point, this guy's causing me too much stress. I'm not going to support him. No Twitter, no twits. Yeah, so, Ethereum's not, Ethereum was actually holding up pretty well. Like, we're above these two major EMAs. We're above a FID level. We're seeing bullish divergence, bullish breakout. Things are looking, optimistic. And then Elon had to tweet literally at the worst times. And it's kind of silly. Like, it's not even, if you really just examine this tweet, like, it's not even anything crazy. It's not a crazy tweet. It's something that people, the market, retail, us, traders, investors, we choose to react based off this shit. And this isn't even the worst tweet in the world. It's just like a bad meme. And no one finds this funny, because everyone in crypto knows that he's manipulating the market and causing everyone to lose unrealized gains. I don't know, man. I don't know. So let's take a look at Cardano. Let's see how everything else is holding. Cardano is holding up surprisingly well, as it has been all throughout this FUD. Guys, Cardano continues to hold up pretty well. So, guys, what's going on with Cardano is pretty clear. So, remain above these three peaks, we're looking bullish. And even the short term here, Cardano is looking ready to rip up. Like, you can see here, based off these daily candles, we were continually finding rejection off this zone here. And see, this daily candle actually ripped up further than all these previous daily candles. And so Cardano was looking strong. It was looking good. And now we're below these kind of daily candle tops again. So with Cardano, if we can't hold this volume at $1.70, then we could fall to $1.63, $1.55, $1.50. Ultimately, with Cardano, this might not even be the worst thing in the world, because what we may be doing, and you can draw this slightly differently. Yeah, I would say we could be forming an ascending triangle, a descending triangle, but I think what's relevant here is just this trend line acting as resistance. So for me, guys, my main takeaway with Cardano is simple, because what's important here is obvious. And what's important here is remaining above these three previous peaks. And Cardano can, fall back all the live long day, that's fine. As long as we hold above these three previous peaks, then Cardano's looking good. So that's what's going on with Cardano. Let's take a look at VeChain. How's VeChain holding up? Ooh, this was the worst time. Guys, this was a very, very bad time for Elon to start scaring the market, because, guys, we were right up against this. Oh, let's see if I can remember. The 200 EMA on the 6 hour? Let me double check, because I want to be right. I want to start saying them. Yeah, I was right. 200 EMA on the 6 hour. Guys, look at a lot of charts. I can't memorize every EMA. But yes, this 200 EMA on the 6 hour, I believe, is one of the most relevant support levels for VeChain, because I'll tell you guys, and I know you guys who have been watching know and I've gotten potentially great entries because of this. Pump down, found support there. Pump down, found support there. Pump down, found support there. Continually, specifically the 200 EMA on the 6 hour for VeChain has been the support level. Even when we had kind of our first flash crash from kind of 27 cents, 28 cents, all the way down to 13 cents, we found support around there. And look, we were forming this wedge. We broke out bullishly. We wicked above. Look, guys, we were above it even for a bit. And as soon as VeChain broke out bullishly and was testing a major resistance level, Elon tweeted, and now we're below it. So this is concerning in the ultra short term. But I mean, we could just maybe fall back down for a day and then pump again tomorrow. So this isn't the complete end of the world. But for me to start feeling a lot more confident about VeChain, we need to start getting daily candles fully closing above this white trend line, because this white trend line has been, not trend line, sorry, this white moving average, EMA, exponential moving average, has been the level of support for VeChain. Robin says, I bought some Elrond for the low. And guys, like me, if you have like a super long-term outlook, look, I'm buying the dip. And I could very well end up losing a bunch of unrealized profits. That's totally possible. Elon could continue to tweet and continue his propaganda campaign against Bitcoin. And, the market could continue to sell off. But with that being said, I'm buying altcoins, which I think have a good chance of surviving a bear market, coming back next time, making all-time highs. And so we're seeing right now bear market discounts in what could still very well be, potentially a bull market, where we could be entering a kind of 2013, 2014 scenario where we kind of had a double top. And so let me see if I can find, Bitstamp has the right chart. So if we go back kind of to 2017, no, not 2017, 2013, 2014, the original, one of the first cycle prior to 2017. So if we look at one of the prior bull cycles, all right, we had a double top where we pumped once, had couple months of sideways consolidation, and then pumped again. And so we may not be doing a 2017, we may be doing a 2013, 2014, where we have kind of a double top scenario. And so I think we can correct all the live long day as long as we hold above 30K. Because again, guys, if we start to break down below 30K, even if we start to break down below here, kind of 33,300, a lower low below 33,300 starts to arguably look like a breakdown from this head and shoulders. So the key thing here is not making new lower lows. So for me, kind of the main thing is a new lower low below 30,000, because if we do, then this really looks like a head and shoulders. and the price target from a bearish breakdown from this head and shoulders is like limitless. It's like negative 5,000 or something. So we do not want to see that. So for me, guys, it's pretty clear what's going on. If we make a new lower low, likelier than not, end of bull market. As long as we keep putting in these higher lows, then there's still hope. And guys, look, I do technical analysis. We don't speak about certainties in technical analysis. We talk about probabilities. So when I talk, I speak in terms of probabilities. What's more likely, what's less likely, because nothing when it comes to investing or trading is a guarantee. Absolutely nothing. Nothing is guaranteed in this market. There's likelihoods and there's probabilities, and your understanding of technical analysis, your intuitions, not really your intuitions, but your understanding of fundamentals and technicals and what drives the market is what gives you an edge and what gives you a greater understanding of the probabilities. But at the end of the day, this is all about probabilities. So that's that. Let's see what you guys are saying. There's a bunch of coins we can take a look at. We can take a look at maybe saw a few mentioned here. Maker, VeChain. We're guesstimating. So Bufo on the beat says we're guesstimating. I mean, I would say to the untrained eye, I guess. I mean, look, man, an argument can be made whether to call it guesstimating at that point we'd be like arguing semantics and what does it mean to guesstimate and what does it mean to be sure, and we can get into like some semantic argument like that. But at the end of the day, you can trade and invest based off technical analysis and fundamental analysis, and you can make money based off it. So that's why I don't think what I do here is guesstimating, because you can make money off this, and you can know probabilities, and understanding probabilities, you can make successful decisions. So I don't think it's like just guesstimating. I think it's a little bit more than that, because based off what happens, you can kind of understand and trade and benefit off your analysis and off your understanding and be successful. So I think it's a bit more than guesstimating, but at the end of the day, nothing is for sure, because you could say, oh, we broke out bullishly, but then Elon decides to tweet, and so we broke down. So the reason why we can never be certain is because there's so many factors that are we can't analyze that affect price action. That's why we can never be certain. We can be aware of some of the major factors that affect price action more often than not, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be factors that we can't measure that affect price action in ways we can't anticipate. So that is that. What else should we take a look at here, folks? Now, I wanted to show you guys. I had a whole plan to share with you guys some of the undervalued gems I've been looking at. Because look, behind the scenes, I've been doing research on what I've been doing, just to let you guys know what I'm up to behind the scenes sometimes, is I've been going through kind of all the major ecosystems, Solana, I'm starting to go through Cardano, and I'm trying to find what are the interesting DeFi projects, because specifically what's undervalued, because DeFi, great use case for crypto, and it's here to stay. So if you can find great undervalued DeFi plays in the major smart contract protocols, then that's a pretty safe bet with high ROI in my opinion. So I've been going through a bunch of that, but recently I think I've kind of shifted a bit of my attention into a niche that I believe is very undervalued and perhaps has higher than average return on investment potential. And so I want to share with you guys a few of those picks in this niche that I think is very undervalued and oversold, and thus maybe greater than not upside potential. But before we delve into that, let's start reading what some of you guys are saying. So Crypto Nate, great live stream. Smash the like button, everyone. 100%. Thank you very much, man. I really wish there was a way to know if you were the real Crypto Nate or not. Hit us up on through the email, man. Yeah, guys. And look, there's 426 people watching. How many likes are there? There's only 109 likes. So that's telling me 3 out of 4 of you do not like the live stream and do not want me to keep going. Again, guys, I had a whole thing prepared where I wanted to show you guys about half a dozen projects that I'm interested in buying the dip on, things that I think are very undervalued, bear market discounts in a bull market. But again, 3 out of 4 of you guys don't like the live stream, maybe don't want me to keep going here. So maybe I could wrap up early. I mean, it is kind of late for me. I was planning to do some, just drink some more apple juice and cry in a corner because of Elon tweeting. So guys, look, greatest way to show your support is to smash that like button. The more likes we get, the more likely YouTube is to share the live stream, more likely YouTube is to share the channel and the videos and that kind of stuff. So folks, smash that like button. And yeah, why don't we start? Okay, guys, yeah, thank you for all your support. Appreciate it. You guys are the best. So, guys, we kind of, I think, have an understanding of what's going on with Bitcoin. But why don't we, I don't know if I should leave off Bitcoin right now, because I have a bunch of charts pulled up here, and maybe we can kind of briefly run over some of this stuff, because this stuff is pretty relevant if we want to know what's kind of happening with Bitcoin. So another thing as well, guys, like when I mentioned how we had this like bullish crossover on the daily MACD, this is pretty significant, especially when we're this oversold. Because if we look at the last time Bitcoin had bullish crossovers in the daily MACD, look what led afterwards in price action. This is a very macro time frame. And this is the most oversold we've ever been. So whenever we're in extremes and we have momentum shifts, they're more significant on the extremes. And we were extremely oversold and extremely extended to the downside, and the momentum is shifting bullish. So if anything, it tells me a relief rally is in the works. And look, again, guys, I think eventually we're probably going to retest this red trend line. And if we want to know whether it's a bull market or bear market, what we need is confirmation. And kind of the last biggest confirmation would be this red trend line. So if we somehow, you know, whenever it is, we pump up, if we find rejection off this red trend line, if we can't get above this and start to fall below, and then fall below 42K again, if we find rejection off here and then fall below 42K, that's real bad. But if we can break out bullishly, fall back down, and retest it, hold it as support, then we can make new all-time highs. So, guys, you know, we need extra confirmation. And seeing those daily macro indicators shift bullish gives me the hope that it's likely, or at least possible, that we could have a relief rally and retest this region. And whatever way we react off this region, that would, I think, definitively tell us whether we're likely or not entering a bear market. So, or you know, bear market, or if the bull market will continue. At this point, you know, things are still pretty much up in the air. And guys, look, something else that we need to look for, and I keep mentioning this because it's relevant. One of the things that we need to look out for to understand whether or not Bitcoin will pump is the Bitcoin hash rate, because this has been directly correlated with price action, especially recently. We can see here how when we saw this first major dip in hash rate, this is when the power outages in China first began, which directly correlated to when price action first started to sell off. Hash rate recovers, price recovers, hash rate drops, price drops. And so we're seeing a bit of recovery, but where we've been kind of lagging here last couple days. And so if we see further, you know, if we see this uptrend, this recovery in hash rate continue, it's a sign that price could recover. If hash rate continues to fall, then that's a sign that price could continue to fall as well. One of the key things that will serve as confirmation of the trend is Bitcoin held on exchanges. Because ever since this bull cycle, really, you know, back in, what was it, July, August 2020, Bitcoin has been leaving exchanges. And all this Bitcoin leaving exchanges served as confirmation of the bull trend, because less Bitcoin on exchanges, the less selling pressure, and, you know, less supply, more demand, price goes up. And that's exactly what we saw. Except recently, price has been going into, Bitcoin has been going into exchanges as the price has been dropping. So we've recently seen some signs of people buying the dip, Bitcoin leaving exchanges, but Bitcoin's entering exchanges again. So we're kind of at an inflection point. Will Bitcoin continue to enter exchanges, or will the downtrend revert, or will the uptrend reverse, and will Bitcoin start to leave exchanges again? Whether we make a new higher high or a new lower low of Bitcoin on exchanges, that will be very telling of future potential price action with Bitcoin. So guys, make sure you stay tuned to this channel, because anytime anything interesting happens, significant happens, we're going to be letting you guys know about it and what it could potentially mean. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. And if you are spamming or sharing scammers in the comment section, we will ban you. Guys, please do not fall for these scammers. No one will give you crypto or money, and we will never ask you to invest with us. So guys, there's a few of these charts that we can look out for. One of the most significant charts is well, they're all significant charts, and I honestly want to go through each one of these, but I want to be cognizant of your guys' time. But guys, one of the best charts for kind of price predictions for Bitcoin has been the stock to flow model. Stock to flow predicts the Bitcoin this cycle will reach over $100,000, and there's several of these cycle indicators that give us more upside potential. And so for me, another reason why I'm not buying this FUD and I'm not buying this downtrend is because the use case for crypto has never been better. Bitcoin's never been more in demand. There's never been greater understanding of crypto and Bitcoin. The global reserve currency, the US dollar, they're printing trillions and trillions, devaluing their currency. The world needs a hedge against inflation. Bitcoin is that hedge. The use case has never been better. So for me, it doesn't really sit well with me. It doesn't make sense that we would seemingly prematurely end the bull market when we have all these cycle indicators that have historically done good jobs of calling tops and bottoms and price predictions all give us more room to the upside. Stock to flow gives us more room to the upside. The Pure multiple tells us whenever we're in this red resistance zone, correlated with tops. We never enter that zone. Same with reserve risk. We never entered our red resistance zone. Same with the realized hodl ratio here. These are all charts that have historically called cycle tops. And at the point of the greatest use case, we end the bull run prematurely. Doesn't make sense to me. And so given that, stock to flow tells us we could reach over 100,000. All these cycle indicators tells us we have more room to the upside, and including the net unrealized profit and loss chart, one of my favorite charts to refer to because it has done a very good job of historically calling cycle tops with Bitcoin. Whenever we enter this 0.75 zone, just means too much people are making too much money too fast, and the growth is unsustainable. There's not enough new buyers in the market to continue fueling the uptrend, and we never enter that zone. So at the point of greatest use case and greatest demand, we prematurely end the bull market. It doesn't make sense to me. So those are the fundamentals, but the tactical scream bearish. We're seeing macro lower highs and lower lows smashing through support levels. This looks bad. So because we have a bunch of reasons leaning bullish and a bunch of reasons leaning bearish, we shouldn't jump to conclusions. I'm neutral. I'm not confident enough to call the state of the market. I'm waiting on the sidelines to get a sense of more evidence and more confirmation of the macro trend. We also have the Bitcoin Miami conference. I believe it's starting from the 5th, like this weekend. It's supposed to go on a couple days. Anyways, this is going to be basically an event where all the biggest players in cryptocurrency are going to propagandize Bitcoin for a few days straight. So I think because there's going to be a bunch of news clips and a bunch of fervor and a bunch of bullish news and a bunch of propaganda. I don't mind it behind Bitcoin, but it is what it is. It's basically a massive propaganda event for Bitcoin. I'm not hating though. I'm for it. I think that it's likely to drive sentiment, and crypto is moved by sentiment, guys. Like Elon Musk tweeting this caused fear in the market, and fear in the market caused sell-offs. Crypto is not driven by earning releases, by quarterly statements, by profit and loss ratios, by debt ratios like the stock market. No, crypto is driven by speculation, fear, and greed. And Elon tweeting causes fear. He probably didn't sell. He probably bought, if anything. Elon tweeting causes fear in these sell-offs. So we need to understand that crypto's highly driven by market sentiment. And this Miami, Bitcoin conference is a massive pro-Bitcoin propaganda event several days long, where all the biggest names, all the biggest crypto influencers in the world are going to be there shilling Bitcoin for days. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm giving that conference too much weight. Maybe it won't be covered a lot. Maybe it won't be circulated a lot. Maybe the market won't buy it. But it is one of the biggest propaganda events for Bitcoin, and so I would expect that to affect market sentiment, since every major crypto influencer in the world is going to be talking about it. I think that's probably likely to be a bullish catalyst. And again, guys, one thing to be aware of is a lot of people buy the rumor, they sell the news. We often have anticipatory run-ups leading up to major news events, and once those major news events come, sometimes people use that as opportunities to take profit, and we often see sell-offs. So, maybe leading up to that conference, we break out bullishly. After that conference, it's not the most crazy thing in the world to expect to sell off. So, just be aware that those are some of the major factors I'm looking out here. So, guys, look, I can keep talking about Bitcoin for hours here, but do you guys want me to just kind of show you guys some of the low-cap, well, not all of them are low-cap gems, but the gems, the things I was doing research on, some of the things I'm trying to buy the dip on, some projects that are very undervalued in the space. Let me know if you guys want me to kind of talk about some hidden gems, some undervalued things in the market, or if you want me to keep talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum or some of the other major alts here. You guys let me know what you want me to do here. So Sid Rocks is Elon just tweeted again and market moving up. What the fuck is? Did he actually tweet again? Let's take a look. No way. Did he? Let's see if he tweeted. I miss you. Why are you crying? Because I miss you. Wow. He did tweet again. Not gonna lie, this is me 100%. Wow, look at that. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. The fuck's going on, man? Like, how's this guy... Could you imagine if this shit was going on with stocks? How quickly they'd shut this guy down and sue him? Like, this is pretty messed up, Elon. Like, I don't know if he thinks this is funny. I don't know if he thinks, like, everyone's in on the joke with him. But this guy's manipulating the market and spooking the market and messing with people's money. And when you mess with people's money, people tend to stop liking you. So I don't know what Elon is up to, because he is messing with a lot of people's money. And look, he's a billionaire. I'm sure he doesn't think about it. I'm sure it seems harmless what he's doing to him. But it's definitely having a real world impact. You can see how Elon's tweets affect the market, like, as they happen. So yeah, he is tweeting. Let's read some of the comments. See what are people saying in the comments. Elon, love you, man, but no more tweets like this, please, for the sake of our industry. Yeah. Like, this guy knows. He has to know. He has to know people don't like him. He just probably doesn't care. No, he doesn't care. Yeah, he's all over Doge now. Man, what's Doge saying? Let's take a look at Doge. Guys, this is some crazy shit. Alright, yeah, Doge is, dumping. Guys, like, I hardly even bother to do TA on Doge because, Doge is not driven by technical analysis or fundamentals or anything. Doge is driven by Elon's tweets. So there's, like, hardly any need. I mean, I was gonna say there's hardly any need to do technical analysis, but there is, because at the end of the day, people are trading this market, and traders do follow technical analysis. So price doing things does mean stuff, and people trade based off what stuff means. So I do suppose I'm convincing myself here in real time that technical analysis on Doge is relevant. I was for the longest time operating under the assumption that TA on Doge was not relevant, but at the end of the day, people are trading Doge and people follow TA. So I suppose maybe I should start doing some TA on Doge. Well, ultimately here for Doge, it's pretty simple. If we remain above the breakout point, we're good. So if Doge can hold 30 cents, we're good. That's pretty much it for Doge. So Mari says, Bitcoin, the death cross is coming. Yeah, guys, I hear a lot of people talking about this death cross, and yeah, they're no bueno. So folks, death cross is referred to when large time frame moving averages have bearish crossovers, and yeah, they are very no bueno. But there's lots of stuff that's very no bueno. We could still break out bullishly, and we are seeing long wicks to the downside. I want to see if I can find bullish divergence here, or any sign of divergence. Let's go to the 1 hour. So 1 hour is, yeah, weak. Look at this. 1 hour MACD is bad. Weighted MACD is bad. Stochastics, bad. RSI, this is like real bad. So I'll show you guys something here too. So look at this. So yeah, this is no bueno. On the 1 hour, we can draw a trend line here that acted as support. So we can see how this continually held as support on this RSI on the hourly, and now we're below it. So that's bearish divergence. Yeah, this is bad. This is not good for the short term. But who knows? Tomorrow we could recover. This is very low time frames. Let's go to like the 15. Okay, yeah, on the 15 minute, we're starting to see signs of strength come in. So where did we stop dumping? Exactly where predicted on my green trend line. It's almost like doing TA matters. Because see, this goes back to the guy who's saying it's just guesstimating. Well, we can kind of debate what is guesstimating, what does it mean to be sure or not sure of something. But we found support almost exactly. If I drew my trend line somewhat differently, I could probably line it up better. But we found support exactly where predicted, and that's why technical analysis is relevant and important, because you could have anticipated that we could have found support there, and that's exactly where we found support. So 15 minute here, guys. Look, 15 minute. We're seeing some signs of some strength. MACD histogram moving up, weighted MACD bullish crossover, weighted MACD acts as a leading indicator for the regular MACD, stochastic RSI, bullish crossover in the oversold region. Stochastic RSI, again, leading indicator on the regular RSI, great for kind of timing shifts in trends, not the extent to the shift in the trend, but when a shift is occurring, the stochastic is great for that. RSI is going from oversold, making a higher high. So, I mean, lower time frames do look good here. So, if you want to kind of understand what it would take for us to kind of recover further here in the short term, is something like this. Oh, I'm seeing something else here that we're not going to like too. So, in the short term, what we need to do are a few things. We need to make a higher high above these candles. We need to get above 37,950. If we can get above that, we can test this red trend line. If we can get above that red trend line, then we can test 38,550. If we can test that, we can test 39,400. If we can test that, we can test 42K. So, but to just put things more simply for you guys, not to just like bombard you guys with numbers, two things I'm looking out for in the short term if you want to remain more bullish. Three things actually. Making a higher high above these candles, breaking above this red trend line, and if we zoom back out a bit, breaking above this volume. So see this volume right above us that will act as a resistance that thankfully we're above the first bit of it, but from basically 37,800 to 37,000, 38,000, there's resistance. So let me say that again. 37,800 to 38,000 resistance based off volume. So we have volume there, price action, and this red trend line all directly above us that will act as resistance. If we can get above these three resistance zones, then in that case we're likelier than not to continue trending upwards. Now, something that I've noticed here, which is muy no bueno, is a micro head and shoulders. So guys, head and shoulders, no bueno. Where's our neckline? It's arguable how we could draw this. Well, I would probably, let me see. Yeah, I'm not finding anywhere to draw this that's super obvious. But main takeaway here, guys, is if we have a relief rally and a rejection, so if we find rejection off our red trend line here, this is going to really look like a head and shoulders. And if we do, in fact, break down from our head and shoulders here, that's very no bueno. So what we do when trying to find price targets for head and shoulders is we try and draw our neckline. So we try and find what is the base of our shoulders. And so if we draw it from the top of the impulse to our neckline, break down bearishly, that's typically how far we could go. So could we technically, theoretically fall to 35,200? We could. Let's say we do fall to 35,200. That would still be a higher low. So a higher low, while it's freaky while it's happening, is not the end of the world. We could find rejection all the live long day as long as you put in these higher lows. The only thing concerning about making new lower lows right now and breaking down further is the fact that this will look like a head and shoulders and a breakdown from a head and shoulders. So that's that, folks. Yeah, hate to say it. Elon Musk has too much pride, dropped Tesla price. I wonder if people are going to stop buying Teslas. Like, honestly, guys, I'm not sure if I would even buy a Tesla at this point. Like, I'm not trying to support this guy. He's having too much fun on our dime. Like, go fishing. That doesn't cost anyone money. His tweets is costing us unrealized and realized gains. So, I'm definitely not feeling inclined to buy Tesla. I don't know about you guys. Let's see if this guy's still tweeting. Because his tweets affect the market. Let's see. Yeah, no, he's not tweeting. I want to see what people are saying here. Elon, yeah, no. Yeah, I hate you, Elon. My family spent all our money on Doge, and now we're homeless. Oh, man. So this guy's probably trolling his economy thing right there, but yeah, he's trolling, but definitely probably not a good idea to put all your money in Doge. Who are the people making whole financial decisions off an Elon tweet? Dumbest shit I ever saw. I mean, I don't disagree. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. So there's a lot of hate. I guess. So, yeah, maybe it's not too. All right, so it just seems to be a lot of heat. Nothing too relevant going on there. But, guys, first off, while I'm here, I might as well take a second to shill Lark Davis. Lark Davis, he's the shit. I follow this guy. You give him a follow. He puts out some decent shit. But now, not Lark Davis. While you're liking Lark Davis, also give our Twitter a follow. The link for that is down in the description because we're constantly retweeting cool and important shit. So give us a follow. Tons of whenever we see something interesting going on, we definitely retweet it. Lots of interesting news stories while they're happening. We're constantly retweeting good shit, and we're also pumping out price predictions, that kind of stuff. So give us a follow. And yeah, guys, this picture sums up how I feel. If you guys ask me, am I bullish, am I bearish? This picture is how I feel. So that's that. Yeah, so let's keep looking. Let's keep looking and see what's going on. Dogecoin forming a cup and handle. I mean, who gives a fuck about Doge really though? Like Doge, I don't know, guys. Like even when I first got into the market, I was like, this ain't for me. So Doge, if it does do something like this, form a cup, like if we go back down, find support, come back to retest like 43, 45 cents, this would be a cup and handle. A bullish breakout from that could take us, I don't know, let's say conservatively, I don't know, probably like 50, mid 50 cent range. A bullish breakout from a cup and handle. But at the end of the day, it's like there's safer options than Doge. There's potentially higher return on investment options than Doge. So Doge is the best combination of high risk and low reward. So it's not only has zero fundamentals, but also a terrible risk to reward ratio. So that's my feeling on Doge. That's that. 40 million max supply. What are you guys shilling? Bro, Cube is going to blow. Hey, you know what, man? It's time for me to shill some stuff. So I do want to shill some stuff to you guys, but just understand that if Bitcoin continues to dump, then what I shill you will probably dump further. But fuck it. Let's keep let's let you guys know, since I spent some time putting this stuff together. Guys, I want to talk about the NFT ecosystem, because when it comes to investing, the way you outperform the market is by trying to find what the market is mispriced, thus what's overly undervalued. And I think NFT projects are extremely undervalued, oversold, and mispriced by the market, because we're seeing bear market discounts with super solid NFT projects that have dropped 90% from all-time highs, 80% from all-time highs, 95% from all-time highs. Bear market discounts in what could still be a bull market. Folks, don't get it twisted. I think NFTs are here to stay. And right now, I think NFT projects are among the most undervalued potential investment opportunities in this space. Because how do you make gains above what the average investor makes? Well, you need to find things that the market has mispriced, nobody wants to touch, and everyone is selling and nobody understands. And that's what NFTs are. Nobody understands them, everyone's selling them, and no one wants to buy them. But they have long-term staying potential. And when is the best time to invest in anything if you're a long-term holder? When nobody wants to touch them, everyone wants to sell them, and nobody understands them. Because if it has long-term staying power and solid fundamentals, then over the long term, they could recover and they could perform well. And given that I think the market is mispricing them, or I think there was a boom and bust cycle, I think, and I could be wrong, but my theory is that there is a lot of good potential return on investment with some NFT projects. And so one of my favorite go-to NFT projects is Elio Trades, fellow crypto YouTuber, NFT project Superfarm. Guys, this project corrected 91% from all-time highs, currently down roughly 83, 84% from all-time highs. The worst of what's already possible already happen with these NFT projects. And I see someone talking about Omi. Yeah, Omi is another good one. I actually don't have it on my list, but I should add it. Omi is another great one as well. Definitely worth looking into. Guys, the NFT projects have crashed into nothingness. It's shit. Nobody wants to touch them. Everyone's selling them and no one understands them. That is the best time to be buying because these solid NFT projects have a good chance of surviving over long term. Buffalo on the Beat says, what is Superfarm? Superfarm is a NFT project by Elio Trades, or he was one of the founders. Elio Trades, he's a cryptocurrency YouTuber. They're going for NFT mass adoption, creating an NFT marketplace, NFT farming, lots of NFT related stuff. And so I'm very bullish on the long-term future of this thing. Long-term for me is 6 months. Long-term is 5 years. So given that this thing is corrected 91% from all-time highs, literally what happens in a bear market. We're currently down 84% from all-time highs, and there's still a possibility that we could still be in a bull market. These opportunities look very appealing, though with what's happening, guys. I'll talk to you guys about what I think is interesting in this space, but honestly, I probably wouldn't be buying anything right now. I would wait on the sidelines, wait a couple days, wait a couple weeks, until Bitcoin stabilizes and we understand its price structure more clearly before buying into anything further myself. Because while Bitcoin's seeing bullish divergence and on an uptrend, I can feel a bit more confident about buying the dip. But while Bitcoin's looking precarious and looking like it might fall further, and when we're so close to a macro tipping point, I'm kind of, I'd rather wait on the sidelines, and I'd wait on the side of safety rather than now. So I see someone here, Jonathan, saying, would Eternity Chain be a good buy now? Guys, Eternity Chain is literally the next one I wanted to talk about. Eternity Chain, another NFT marketplace that has absolutely crashed into nothingness. This thing corrected 96% from all-time highs. Guys, the bear market for NFTs already happened. The worst of what's possible already happened. What's the worst case scenario? It drops another 2, 3, 4% from all-time highs. It already corrected 96% from all-time highs. And this is a cryptocurrency that I think, I don't know, I could be wrong, has a good fighting chance to be a leader in the NFT space. We're currently down 90 goddamn percent from all-time highs. What's the worst case scenario, folks? We fall another 5, 6, 8, 9% from all-time highs. This could theoretically go to zero, but I don't think it will. I think there's a good chance of either this year or next cycle sticking around, recovering, making new all-time highs once again. And so given that I think that there could still be a bull market this year, and that over the long term this has a fighting chance of surviving and being a leader in the niche, and given that we're extremely oversold, extremely extended to the downside, we're seeing bear market discounts in what could be a bull market, I have been buying the dip on Eternity, not financial advice. So I see someone here in the comments tempting me with a question that I have to be careful about. So Robin Martin says, XRP, no way that's going down. I don't care what BitBoy says. Man, you must be new to the channel because I am definitely not a fan of XRP. XRP is another coin that has high risk and low reward potential. It's the greatest combination of dubious fundamentals and dubious return on investment potential. Because, look, man, if the SEC lawsuit goes in Ripple's favor, then sure, XRP could probably pump. If it gets relisted, it could probably pump. XRP, if we're having a conversation about trading, it's interesting. If we're having a conversation about long-term investing, I just think there's better options. And so my feeling with XRP and my feeling with Doge and my feeling with Bitcoin are pretty much the same. Where if they existed in a vacuum, then sure, they might be interesting. But given the fact that there's thousands and thousands of cryptocurrencies out there, and literally thousands of options where you could place your money, XRP has enough dubious fundamentals and a dubious enough future that I think the risk to reward doesn't make sense at this point. XRP at 20 cents was a lot more attractive than XRP at 90 cents or at $1. So, I used to be an XRP fanboy, and just so you guys know, I'm not a total XRP hater. I liked and owned a lot of XRP at 1.2. At this point, it's pretty simple. My feelings with XRP, guys, is just with so many coins to choose from in the market, there's no need to compromise on your standards on what you think is a solid project. And given that XRP has very dubious fundamentals and a very dubious long-term future, I just think there's better options. But look, guys, I hope I'm wrong about XRP. I hope every bank in the world adopts XRP and uses the shit out of it. But there's enough things to not like about it that I think there's better options, and I'm not putting my money in XRP. That's not financial advice. Ian Gilly with a $10 super chat, thank you for your support, says Armor Finance and Synthetics are massive sleeping giants. People who buy these two will become millionaires. I can promise you that. Well, Ian Gilly, I don't know if you're a fan of the channel, but I love those two projects. I own them myself, and I constantly shill them every time I can because I agree with you. Armor Finance, super undervalued, sitting on support, massive correction. Same with Synthetics, super undervalued, sitting on support, massive correction. Look, man, like maybe we can take a look at those briefly. I mean, I mentioned Super Farmer 30. Like these discounts are insane, guys. We could, emphasis on could, still be in a bull market, and we're seeing bear market discounts. Armor Finance. So this is what you're talking about. This is an insurance protocol that pays you to buy insurance. And one of the reasons why I like this thing a lot is because the more money people make, the more the bull run continues, the more legacy, institutions and big money players come into the space, the more attractive something like insurance is going to look. And so this is the kind of project that's almost made to capitalize on a bull market. So we're currently down, let's measure how much, 76, 77% from all-time highs. We dumped 83% from all-time highs. Bear market discount, what could be a bull market. We're sitting on our white trend line here. We're sitting on support. I have been buying the dip literally on these regions. And so something you could do here, even if you wanted to like swing trade this, or something I would do is if this pumps, wait maybe and look to sell or take some profits around this white trend line based off all-time highs and this wick. So, I mean, even if you're looking to swing trade this thing, that could be a pump of maybe around 100%, maybe even more. So even as a swing trade, this looks interesting. So like, look, even if you, something you could do here is, let's assume the bull market keeps it together and we break out bullishly. Well, you could take out your initial investment somewhere around 90 cents, 80 to 90 cents, and then whatever profit that you have left, just hold that for the long term because you're playing with what's the phraseology? You're playing with the casino's money, that kind of thing. Anyways, I like this thing. And then you shield Synthetics. Synthetics is also another one I like a lot. I own Synthetics. You could also stake Synthetics on Celsius and earn 14-15% compounding interest. So look, let's assume we entering a bear market and you're sitting on a bunch of Synthetics and you're like, ah, shit, we're entering a bear market. I bought the top. It's going to drop, but I don't want to sell. What can you do? Well, you can earn interest on your Synthetics. Celsius offers like 13, 14, 15% compounding interest paid out weekly, no lockup periods, and that's where I have my Synthetics. And so, also just in the short term here, we're just forming this macro descending channel. All right, we're sitting on the 618, holding that support, very good sign. So as long as we hold the line here, as long as we hold 1250, then that's a good sign. If we hold 1250, then that's good. That's okay. If we start to break below 1250, this major fib level, then we can start to be a bit more worried. So then we can start to talk about new lower lows. But as long as we hold 1250, that's a good sign. And eventually, once we get above and hold above this red trend line, then we can really start to pump. And this looks like, to me, like the mother of all bull flags. So if the bull market can come back, this could just be a massive bull flag, and we can go to $40, $45. So, and this is the kind of project that I think has a good chance of surviving a bear market. This is why I don't shill Dogecoin. This is why I don't shill XRP, because I think the fundamentals, personally, in my subjective opinion, I may be wrong, you guys disagree with me, that's fine, but in my opinion, Synthetics has better fundamentals than XRP. But that's just me. You could disagree with me, and that's fine. It's a totally subjective opinion. They do different things, a different use case. With that all being said, my point is here, I think Synthetics has a good chance, a good fighting chance of surviving a bear market, coming back next cycle, making new all-time highs, entering price discovery. So it's definitely something that should be on people's radars for sure. And we're currently sitting on support. And whenever we have massive corrections and sitting on support, that is where I like to buy. And also the golden pocket 618 is where I like to buy. Guys, whenever something pumped and dumped, and if you're trying to figure out where to buy it, what I do is I draw a Fibonacci retracement from the macro bottom of the impulse to the top of the impulse, And that gives us some support slash resistance levels, some fib levels that are likely to act as support and resistance. And the golden pocket, the 618, this 0.618, is typically where things like to retrace to and find their support. So this is where I like to buy. Whenever anything's in the 618 is where I buy. So that's that. But let's keep talking about these NFT products. So let's look back here, Bitcoin, see what it's saying. Bitcoin not doing anything crazy interesting for the moment. Let's keep looking at these NFT products. So Eternity, I've been buying the dip on. Guys, I'm so tempted to buy more right now. Superfarm, Armor, I've been buying the dip on. Another one that I'm not in yet, but I may potentially get in, especially if the market starts to look strong again, is Bakery Bake, because this is a leading NFT marketplace of the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem. Because guys, again, very, very undervalued projects, massive corrections. And I think the NFT space is really, because NFTs are here to stay. And so when everyone's forgotten about them, everyone's selling them, no one understands them, those are the best long-term investing opportunities. And so Bakery on the Binance Smart Chain, very cheap fees, I think has a good chance of, potentially doing well over long term. So I won't, this is what their marketplace looks like. I won't scroll too much further because there's some non-PG-13 stuff, and I don't want anyone getting their feathers all ruffled. But bottom line is, guys, something like this as NFTs, when the NFT hype wave inevitably comes back, something like this that offers very cheap transaction fees on NFTs is going to look very attractive. And so I don't know which one of these NFT projects are going to be the winners in the end, but all these projects I mentioned, you guys, all have, I think, solid fighting chances of being among some of the leaders in the niche moving forward. So this thing's currently down 50% from all-time highs, retraced 78% from all-time highs. Not as much as Eternity or Superfarm, so, but nevertheless, something on my watch list for sure. Another one, 747 market cap, so it is a bit of a higher cap. It's not that low cap. Another one that's very interesting, I think I saw someone here in the comments mention, is Wax. This is a bit of an older NFT project that's been around since the last cycle. I believe, depending what exchange you look at, the all-time highs is like 270. It varies based off the exchange. Like here was 480, but that could have been just, I don't know, that could have been something weird. But anyways, guys, again, whenever I'm looking at dollar cost average, Fibonacci retracement, bottom and top, 618, we're below the 618, but we're holding support on the 786. So what I'm saying here is pretty clear. If we kind of make a new lower low below 90, 9 cents, if we break below 9 cents, it's very bad news bears. We can drop further. As long as we hold 9 cents, that's a good sign. And once we see bullish divergence above this red trend line, then we're looking solid. So if we can do something like this, bullish breakout, fall back down, retest the breakout point, hold as support, breakout, fall back down, hold as support. If we can flip the 618, basically 14 cents from resistance into support, then this could see more upside. In that case, we would have shifted the trend from bearish to bullish. So definitely something worth being on the radar. 75% down from all-time highs, currently down 67% from all-time highs. If we take a look here at kind of their website, this is some of the stuff they do. They do NFTs, they do gaming. You can build decentralized applications. This project has been around for a while and building for a while. So definitely one keep on the radar. If you have like an NFT watch list, definitely one worth adding to the watch list. 268 in terms of market cap, so it's not an ultra low capper, but it's not a high capper either. So it's definitely one I'm adding to my watch list. Next one is Flow. Flow, guys, they're the guys behind NBA Top Shots. They're doing the same thing with UFC. The only reason why I don't own this project is because they're not available to North Americans. If you're Canadian, if you're American, if you're Mexican, I don't believe you can buy Flow. I believe it's only for Europeans. So for that reason, I don't own any Flow because I am, I almost said American. No, I'm North American. So, guys, that's what's going on with that. And the next one is Refinable. This is a bit of more of a lower capper, another NFT marketplace on the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem. One of the things that I find compelling about this is that they've partnered with Mr. Beast, one of the biggest YouTubers out there. Apparently been in crypto for quite a while. Guys, NFTs with cheap transactions on the Binance Smart Chain are very compelling. And so they're building an NFT marketplace. And so I think this thing looks interesting. Unfortunately, I couldn't chart it, but we are down 80% from all-time highs. 80% being $4. We're about 80 cents now. That's 80% down from all-time highs. Bear market discounts in what could be a bull market. And all of these projects, I think, have a fighting chance of sticking around and being leaders in the NFT marketplace niche. And I think NFTs are here to stay. Guys, when there's a gold rush, what do? You invest in companies that supply, axes and shovels. And so, because I think the NFT gold rush is here to stay, I think we had a bubble that popped, a boom and bust cycle. But what happens whenever there's a cycle? Let's see if I have it pulled up here. I don't have it pulled up. I'll look it up. Give me 1 second here. So, if I look up on my other screen here, psychology of a market, we can see how markets typically move. If I can find the picture on my other screen, you guys just give me a second here. There we go. Almost got it. Here we go. So, this is the psychology of a market. We have a boom, we have a bust cycle, and then what happens after our boom and bust? Well, you have consolidation, and then the cycle rinses and repeats. So, what are we seeing with these NFT projects? We had a boom, we had a bust. We're now starting to get some sideways consolidation and accumulation. So once we see a bit more sideways consolidation and accumulation, and after that, a bit of bullish divergence, well, based off our cycle indicator, or not our cycle indicator, but the psychology of a market, we could recover. So once we see this consolidation with these NFT products, and then a bit of bullish divergence, we can start to be a bit more hopeful that the trend may reverse and that we could enter the bull cycle with the NFT projects likely being in the summer, in my opinion. I think this summer is probably going to be pretty hot for altcoins. So if you guys are looking to, I'm looking to take profits on my long-term positions in the summer. So that is that, guys. That is all I wanted to show you guys. That's what's going on with Bitcoin. Folks, if you like this live stream, do me that favor. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. As well, guys, I need to take a moment here to shill our VIP Discord group. Guys, in our VIP Discord group, we talk about low cap gems. We're talking about what we're buying, when we're buying, at what prices. We have tons of helpful catalysts. We talk about everything, all the staking opportunities, we're taking advantage of. So if you guys want to become a VIP Discord member, you get access through our Patreon. The link for that is down on the description below. Go check that out, because in the very near future, we're going to be changing our VIP Discord group. And the people who got in early are going to heavily benefit from being in early. So guys, if you're on the fence, if you can easily spare it, if it's not a big deal, get in early before we make these changes, because it's going to be a substantial change that things are coming. We're going to be bringing you guys even more value to our VIP Discord members in the near future. We're just in the works of kind of hashing out the details and kind of finalizing things. So check that out for sure. Before I wrap up here, I want to see what you guys are saying here. Maybe we can take a look here at Bitcoin again. So, guys, with Bitcoin, kind of just to summarize my main takeaway here is, if we can't get above this red trend line in the near future here, that's pretty bad. This is starting to look like a bear trap, like a fake out. So if we can't get back above 38K, if we can't get back above this red trend line, that's very bad. Ultimately, give me a second here. Ultimately, there's several major layers of support that I think we need to hold. These two green trend lines, this zone from 37,100 to about 37,500, more of a wider zone here from 36,000 to 38,000 based off volume in a price reactive area, and then this green trend line, then our fib level. So ultimately, guys, if we do break down further, there's still a possibility for some hope. Where I will start to get worried is not breaking down from these fib levels. Well, that is worrisome because it sucks to see it happen. But what really gets me worried is making a new lower low below this level. We need to hold the line basically above 33K, 34K. 34,000 needs to hold that support. Because if that doesn't hold that support, we're going to start making new lower lows. And making new lower lows makes things look like a bear market. That's what we don't want to see. So 34,000 has to hold. But really kind of the last stand is 30K. Once you break below 30K, at that point, I would feel confident shifting from bullish to optimistic to now more bearish. In a lower low below 30K would make it more likely that we would be entering a bear market. So If we start to break below 34, 33K, I'm going to start to look to, take some profits on some of my positions and move into just a bit of altcoins. If we break down below 34, 33K, and then if we break below 30K, I'm probably going extremely heavily. I'm not going to see my whole portfolio, but a substantial amount of my portfolio I will move into stable coins if we make a new lower level 30K, and I will start to move a bit into stable coins. I don't know the numbers quite yet. I need to work on it, but if we break below 34, 33K, that's our first kind of lower low. That's our first bad sign. So that's the first time in which I'll maybe 10%, maybe 5% of my portfolio into stable coins. And again, ultimately for me to like really go heavily into stable coins, talking like maybe the majority of my portfolio, is a lower low below 30K. But until we do that, there's the possibility that we could experience more uptrend. So at the end of the day, do not panic sell or FOMO buy. Don't buy or sell anything based off emotions. Take calculated decisions based off rationale and logic and evidence. Okay, guys? So, if you're feeling panicked, turn off your screen, come back tomorrow. It'll still be here. So just understand those are the major things I'm looking at. And really, I just wanted to share with you guys what I'm doing in the market and what it's going to take for me to start looking more bearish. Because, a lot of people are obviously panicked and fearful. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about their feelings and their intuitions. But if we want to know what's going to happen next, it's pretty useless to talk about feelings and intuitions. What we need is confirmation of the trend. The price will tell us what's more and less likely. And hopefully I did a good job of explaining to you guys what I'm looking out for to understand, based off price action, what's more and less likely. So guys, folks, thank you so much for being here. Smash that like button. Join our Discord group. The link for that is down in the description below. Become a VIP Discord member. Link to join that to our Patreon down in the description below. Hop in, guys. I'm telling you, before we bring some changes. I can't wrap up without mentioning the super chat, guys. It's late and I've been talking for a while, so forgive me. I'm getting a bit tired here. So Ricky George says with the $5 super chat, thank you very much. Says, hey man, love the channel, new subscriber. Hashtag SMR is going parabolic right now. SMEG Mars. Yeah, see, that makes me not like it. If it's going parabolic, that's not good. That means you missed the pump. Guys, you don't chase pumps, you chase dumps, because that's where the highest return on investment potential is. I was going to look at the ticker, but I don't even know the ticker, man. So Ricky, I appreciate the support. But honestly, I think chasing something that's pumping right now is a terrible idea, given how precarious the market is. It's a terrible idea to be chasing something that's pumping. So I definitely would not be chasing anything that's pumping, especially if what you mentioned is meme coin. Meme coins are garbage. Look, if you're just trying to have some fun, then sure, but they're definitely not serious investments in my most humble of opinions. So yeah, man, no, look, I appreciate your support, bro, but yeah, I can't even look it up, so there's not much I can do for you. SMG to $1. Guys, look, it's getting late. I'm getting tired here. I'm starting to stumble over my words. So I think it's probably best I wrap it up here. Again, I've been trying to wrap it up for a bit here. So I'll wrap it up fully. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Just click on every link in the description. I'll be a happy camper. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. Until next time, folks, take care.